And with that, tonight we turn to the issue of immigration. Tonight, a record number of migrant children arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border without a parent or legal guardian. That number is only expected to grow. Tonight, thousands are being housed in holding facilities by Customs and Border Protection. And NewsNation's Marky Martin's live for us there in Texas tonight with the latest on this. Marky?
Rob, since taking office on day one, the Biden administration has worked to dismantle many Trump-era policies, at the forefront of which is immigration. And with new leadership in the White House, Border Patrol agents are seeing a surge of people flocking to the border trying to cross. And included in that rush are thousands of unaccompanied children. Beginning February 19th, asylum seekers were allowed into the United States. The Biden administration opening 3 ports of entry for those who have been forced to wait out their cases in Mexico.
Just seeing them for so long, suffering so much, hopeful and yet desperate, and now it happened, it's the door's open. Why?
The first waves of an estimated 25,000 asylum seekers have already started arriving, but thousands more, including children, are expected to make the journey alone and in the midst of a pandemic. During a White House press briefing last week, Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas refusing to call the border influx an emergency.
Do you believe that right now there's a crisis at the border?
I think that the answer is no. I think there is a challenge at the border that we are managing, and we have our resources dedicated to managing it.
According to Axios, Customs and Border Protection officials predict 13,000 unaccompanied minors will cross the border in May alone. By the end of the year, DHS estimates it'll be 117,000, and many of them are teens. The Domestic Policy Council says 6,000 migrants ages 16 and 17 were detained in February, and in January, 7,300 children were caught, the highest for that month in a decade.
Respectfully, sir, though, one of your predecessors, Jay Johnson, he said that 1,000 illegal border crossings a day constitutes a crisis, that it overwhelms the system. We're at between 3,000 and 4,000 now, according to CBP officials. So how is this not a crisis?
I have explained that quite clearly. We are challenged at the border. The men and women of the Department of Homeland Security are meeting that challenge.
Many, however, are in stark disagreement. Today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott visited the border city of Mission, Texas. He said as he was flying in, he watched from the sky as people tried to cross illegally.
There is a crisis on the Texas border right now with the overwhelming number of people who are coming across the border. This crisis is a result of President Biden's open border policies.
Abbott labeling it a humanitarian crisis that will worsen by the day. And he delivered a fiery warning: don't mess with Texas.
We're ready. We're waiting for you. If you dare step into the state of Texas, Texas will use every tool and strategy we can to arrest anybody who's violating the law. If you are a caravan or you're a cartel, you better take your activities to some other place, because they will not be accepted in Texas.
Abbott even accusing President Biden today of not caring about Americans, but rather more for people who aren't even from here. And we can also tell you, too, according to reports, Biden has been briefed on needing some 20,000 beds across the border for an expected rush of these children. He has also been told that the number of migrant children is on pace to exceed the all-time high by 45%. And today, in a White House press briefing, Secretary Jen Psaki could not answer or confirm how many children have been apprehended along the southern border. Reporting live in Texas tonight, Marky Martin, NewsNation.